We are hitting the right note this month in advance, and what a better person to have here with me than David Morton. We're hitting the right note. What does it mean to hit the right note?
If you're hitting the right note, it's kind of an idiom. It can mean that you're making the right points or you're saying the right things to reach somebody. Or if you're singing, it just means that you're singing very well.
That's right, and we have someone here this month that we're talking about, Harry Connick Jr., and he's hitting the right note. Yeah. He has a new album back out. It's a gospel album. What are your thoughts on his new album, David?
Well, it's interesting. He says that it's more of a faith album than a gospel album. I was trying to think of what that might mean, but what I gather is that he does sing some classic gospel songs. His gospel is a genre of music. But on the other hand, a lot of the songs that he writes himself and even the ways that he reads those original songs and singing them himself is very much a reflection of what he's going through in his own faith walk, right? So he calls it a faith album, I think, because it's reflective of where he's at with his faith, you know, whether he's having a good day or a bad day, doubting his faith and its strength or feeling really confident. This album reflects his faith and his journey thus far.
Absolutely, and it was a great time to make this album because he was at home during the pandemic, and that's a great time to think. It's a great time to think about your faith, right? And so he was thinking about that, and he was able to record these songs. And this is a gospel album, so David, I wanted to ask you, do you have a favorite gospel song or hymn?
Totally. Come Thou Fount of Every Blessing. Come Thou Fount of Every Blessing.
Yeah, I sang that growing up in church, right?
One of my favorite songs. And The Old Rugged Cross, which is one that he mentions and he sings on the album, is fantastic. On the article, there's a really great little playlist that our artist put together. I strongly encourage everyone to go on Spotify or YouTube, look up some of those songs, take some time to give them a listen. They're classics.
Absolutely. Be sure to check those out. Well, David, let's move on to the Tiny Desk concerts that we referenced in our article. It's pretty simple. Do you think that, did you think something like this would become popular in such a high-tech environment that we live in, the simplicity of it?
Absolutely. For the same reason that one of the people give, it's because of the intimacy.
Yeah.
So Tiny Desk Concert came out in 2009, really popular. This is not the first time that something like that has become huge. We're going to go back about 20 years to 1989. MTV starts doing a program called Unplugged, where famous recording artists like Nirvana, like Alice in Chains, these are some 1990s groups, they would come out with these albums. They would do these live performances doing acoustic versions of their songs and covers. It became wildly popular. I think it was 1996. 1996 or 94, Nirvana did an Unplugged album that became one of the, what some people call the most famous or the best live recording of all time. You know, why? Because it was intimate, right?
Yes.
Same reason Tiny Desk was so popular.
Right, so that is the key point. It's an intimate concert and people like that. Well, be sure to check out our music article for all the details. We'll see you next time here on Insights.
See you later.